Hello everybody and welcome to this video in which we are going to be going over how to iterate over dictionaries in Python. When I say iterate, I just mean loop over, loop through, so go through the key value pairs in dictionaries. If you're not clear on iterate or what I'm talking about, if it sounds like gobbledygook, go and check out the technique cards and the videos on iteration. So while loops and for loops, all right? Definitely do that because it's kind of important. Okay, but assuming that you've done that and you know what I'm talking about, let's get to it. So there's our dictionary, animal scene. Got a dictionary with key value pairs about animals we saw out on some scientific research or fieldwork. Okay, so what I want to do, I just want to go through this and I just kind of want to get access to printing out maybe the key, so the name of it, the animal, just the key, and also maybe I want to print out the value that I saw, just loop through it. So how can we do it? Well, we're going to use a for loop, so for, and I'm going to call this item to start with. Although we don't normally use this, it's just I think it makes it a little bit more clear to start with. We'll change it in a moment. Remember, you can actually call this anything. You can call it whatever you want. I don't know, you can call it pizza, whatever, it doesn't really matter, but obviously we want to keep it simple and relevant to what we're doing. So for item in, well, in what? The dictionary, animal scene, colon there. So for item in animal scene, we're going to use our for loop. What are we going to do? Let's print, let's just print item, right? Okay, so what do we expect to happen? For item, so for each item in animal scene, we're going to print the item. Have a think what you expect to see happen. Going to save it, and then you can check it here to see if indeed it happens. Cats, dogs, monkeys. Okay, so you might have thought you get the value as well, but nope, sorry, wrong. It's just giving us the key, right? So it's giving us access to the key when we do it this way with dictionaries. So which is why generally we call it key. That's a better way to do it, and usually in Python you'll see that, or you'll just see K, the letter K. For now, let's keep it key, right? And just to show you that's still going to work, so for key in animal scene, print key, and that will be the key of the dictionary. So in this case, it will be the string. Let's just print it for your reference. You can see it's the same. Okay, so then how do we actually get access to the values? Well, we can use the key to get access to the values, just like we saw in the video on the technique card about dictionaries, the basic card about them. We can index it using the actual name of the key. So let's just do that, just the values. So I'm going to put animals scene, and then I'm going to index it using the square brackets, and I'm going to put key, right? So it will be each key in turn. So when the key is cats at the start of the iteration, cats, it will print animal scene cats, which will be 8, and then it will come through, it will loop through, it will go, okay, animal scene dogs, and it will do 2, and then the key will become monkeys, it'll be 5, and that'll be skunks, it'll be 3, and that'll be ants, and it will be 2. So in this case, we expect to see just the values, okay? But the values are being grabbed from the key, the name of the animal in this particular case. Let's save it and let's print that out, and there we go, we see the values. And then of course you could play with that in your for loop. So you could say maybe you wanted to start to build a little sentence about like, I saw 8 cats, I saw 2 dogs, that kind of thing. How would we do it? Let's use an F string. So format a string, and we're going to put in there I saw. And now we want the value. So think about what I'm going to do there for the value. Yeah, I hope you know, because I just showed you it. We're going to go into here because we're in an F string, animals scene, yep, and we're going to index it to the key, whatever it is. So to start with, that'll be 8, and then we just want the actual key name. So then I'm just going to put key, which will be cats, of course, right? So I saw this bit of value 8 because it's animal scene of cats, and then it's going to just be the key cats. So I saw 8 cats, so then it comes round. And key becomes dogs, and it's going to say, okay, what's the value there? Indexed to dogs, it's going to be 2, and it'll say I saw 2, and the key itself, of course, is dogs, so on and so forth. So let's just go and have a look at that. Let's clear this maybe first of all, and then let's run that. I saw 8 cats, I saw 2 dogs, yeah, all that kind of good stuff there. Okay, so that's a basic way to iterate through it, but it's a little bit ugly looking, wouldn't you agree? I bet you would agree. It is a little, the syntax, I mean, it's a little bit ugly looking because of this thing here, having to do this. Is there a better way to do it? Yes, there is, because Python's lovely. It's a wonderful, wonderful programming language. It's just beautiful to work with. So let's have a look at the more Python-esque way of doing this. And that is to use a method, items. So this is a method, a dictionary method. It's a method we can call on dictionaries. And don't worry if you don't know what I'm talking about methods. Yeah, we're going to cover it in technique cards and all functions and methods and all that good stuff. But for now, just have a look at how this method works. So I'm going to use for. This time I will have access to the key and the value directly. And that's what's so beautiful about it. So for key, comma, value in what? Well, in animal scene. But hold on a minute. No, not just this. I need the method dot. So I'm going to call the method items. It's giving me that choice there. I want to call it, which is why I'm using the brackets there. I want to call it, okay, there we go. Got to do that. If I'm wanting access to the key and the value directly, I've got to use the items method. Of course, it's asking for the colon there because it's a for loop. Okay, now let's do the same thing as we just did. So we're going to print and we are going to use an F string and I'm going to put I saw. And this time, instead of all that ugly nonsense there, I can just use value. I've got the value now, so I can just use it. You see, the value, I've got access to the value here because I'm using items. And we don't need it in this video. In the deeper dive card, maybe we'll go over what this actually gives us, what it returns us. But for now, we can just work with it and say, you know what, I've got access to the value, so I'm going to use value. I don't need this ugly syntax here. I could just use value. Right? I saw. And that would be, to start with, would be 8. And then, of course, I can get access to the key, which is cats. Because remember, a dictionary, this is the key, this is the value. This is the key, value, key, value, key, value, key, value. And that should do, and it will do, the same as we saw earlier. So if we run that again, we're getting it twice because the first time was the ugly syntax way and the second time is the nice Python-esque way to do it, right? One more thing, in fact, let's just get rid of, I'll leave it there for your reference actually. I was going to delete it, but let's just comment it out so it's there for your reference. Generally speaking, no, you won't see key value. That's more, it's easier to understand, but a lot of Python coders will just put KV just because they're lazy, right? And then, of course, you will need to change that to the V and the K like that. But you'll use that. You'll see that frequently in Python code for K, comma V in the dictionary dot items. Call it with the brackets, and then you can work with those key values in your code there. Let's just prove it still works. Like that. Why is it only once? It's because I commented out the other way of doing it. Okay, so there we go. Pretty cool. We've gone over how to iterate through dictionaries and also a better way to iterate through dictionaries using the items method. Hope it was useful. Have fun applying it to your projects, and until next time, as always, take care.